The silent power of men who endure. They don't stand out. They don't seek attention. They don't talk much, but one day, you'll realize they were the most dangerous men in the room. There are men who don't need to prove anything. They don't chase validation. They don't play power games. They simply endure, quietly advance, and silently become uncheckable. In a world that's too loud, silence becomes power, patience becomes a weapon, and endurance becomes the ultimate form of strength. These next 7 chapters will take you deep into the mindset of men the world can't control, men who don't react, but always observe, men who aren't afraid to lose, because they're not attached, men who say nothing, but radiate presence. This isn't just philosophy. This is a blueprint for the kind of man who no longer runs from pain, no longer begs for peace because he's become the storm, because the man who can endure will always outlast the man who can't. Let's begin. 1. She watches, but she never reach out. She's watching you. She still thinks about you, but she will never reach out. And the reason why? It's deeper than you think, and once you understand it, you'll never see women the same way again. Most men go their entire lives confused, believing that women process emotions the same way men do. But they don't, not even close. See, when a man misses someone, he acts. He reaches out. He apologizes. He tries to fix it. But when a woman misses you, she watches. She'll scroll through your profile. She'll rewatch your stories. She think about you at night and whisper your name in her mind. But she won't say a word. Not because she doesn't miss you. Not because she's over it. But because she refuses to give you the satisfaction. She's addicted to the power of observation, the silence, the mystery, the fact that she knows you don't know what she's thinking. She wants the upper hand. And for her, watching you in silence is more powerful than reaching out and risking rejection. Women don't want closure. They want control. You think she's moved on? You think she doesn't care? She's hoping you're watching her too. She's hoping you're still hooked, still curious, still emotionally attached. And as long as she believes that, she won't make a move, because in her mind, she's still winning. And here's the truth that hurts the most. If she really feared losing you, she wouldn't be quiet. She'd be texting. She'd be calling. She'd be fighting for a place in your life. But silence? Silence means she's testing you. She's not trying to fix the relationship. She's trying to see if she still matters to you. That's what so many men get wrong. They think her watching means she's waiting for the right moment to come back. No, brother. She's watching because she still wants to know that she has power over you. That's it. Because to a woman, power greater than closure. She doesn't want to risk looking weak. She doesn't want to be the one who breaks the silence first. Because in her world, that's a loss. So instead, she stalks in silence. She gathers information. She posts things meant to provoke a reaction. She uploads a photo with another guy. Not because she's moved on, but to see if you will. She watches your moves and waits for signs. Are you dating someone new? Do you look happy without her? Are you still checking her page? If you give her any reaction, she wins. That's the game. That's the strategy. And most men walk right into it. They see the views, the likes, the subtle posts and think, maybe she still cares. No, a woman doesn't reach out to the man she still cares about. She reaches out to the man she's afraid to lose, and right now, she doesn't think she's lost you. She thinks you're still emotionally tethered, still watching, still waiting. So she doesn't move, because she believes you will. And here's the most brutal truth you need to hear. If she truly wanted you back, you would already know. She wouldn't be hiding behind social media. She wouldn't be waiting. She would show up. Women don't stay silent about men they can't afford to lose. So if she's watching and not speaking, you're not a priority. You're an option. And the second you understand that, the second you stop giving her the attention she's craving from afar, that's when everything changes. Because now, for the first time, she starts wondering. She starts asking herself, why hasn't he reached out? Did he move on? Is he done with me? Did I miscalculate? And that's when the power shifts. Your absence will say more than any words you could send. Your silence will echo louder than any apology, any "I miss you," any last message ever could. Because now she doesn't know what's going on. That uncertainty, that's what haunts her. Suddenly, she's the one feeling anxious. She's the one checking your profile. She's the one watching your stories late at night, wondering who you're with, what you're doing, and most importantly, if you've already forgotten about her. That's the moment the illusion shatters. Because when a woman no longer believes she has control over your emotions, she panics. She's not scared of losing you. She's scared of losing the power she once had over you. That's why she keeps watching from the shadows. Not because she loves you, not because she wants you back, but because she needs to feel like she still matters. So here's what you do. Stop feeding it. Don't watch her stories. Don't like her posts. Don't text. Don't react. Don't even acknowledge. Go completely cold. Because the second she realizes you're done, that you've detached emotionally, mentally, spiritually, she will feel that emptiness more than anything you could ever say. She'll feel your absence. She'll feel your silence. And it will shake her to her core. Because now she's not sure anymore. Now she's the one overthinking. And that, my brother, is when the real shift begins. 2. She doesn't miss you. She misses control. She doesn't miss you. She misses controlling you. She doesn't stay up at night crying about what she lost. She's not longing for the good times, reminiscing on the love, or praying for a second chance. No. She's sitting there wondering if you're still emotionally hooked. Because for her, it was never really about the relationship. It was about the control she had while she was in it. Understand this. A woman doesn't always leave because she's unhappy. She leaves when she feels like she's no longer in charge. Let that sink in. When a woman begins to feel like she's losing grip over the dynamic, when she senses that you're becoming too independent, too centered, too focused on your purpose rather than her, that's when she starts pulling away. She starts testing you. And most men fail those tests. Get needy. They get desperate. They start chasing. They put her before their goals, before their mission. And that's when she begins to detach emotionally. Not suddenly, slowly, quietly, strategically. See, a breakup doesn't happen in a day. It happens in phases. By the time she actually walks away, she's been mentally checked out for weeks, months, sometimes longer. She's already justified it in her mind. She's already rewritten the story to make it your fault. She's already emotionally replaced you. And when she finally leaves, it's not because she just made that decision. It's because she's been waiting for the perfect moment to make her exit clean and guilt-free. Now, here's where most men get blindsided. They assume that because she ended it, she must be done for good. They think she found someone better. They assume she's happier now, that she's moved on. But the truth? She didn't leave to end it. She left to see what you would do. She wanted to know, will you chase me? Will you beg? Will you break? Because if you do, she wins. That's when she confirms her belief that she still owns real estate in your head, that she still controls your emotions, that she can walk away and you'll still be there, waiting, hoping, hurting. And that's exactly why she never reach out first. Because if she does, she's admitting that she's not in control anymore. She's showing her hand. She's risking rejection. She's putting herself in a position of emotional vulnerability. And for most women, vulnerability is a bigger fear than loss. Women don't fear losing men. They fear losing control over men. So, what does she do? She runs tests. She posts that just happy enough selfie. She shares that cryptic caption about love and growth. She uploads that photo with another guy, half hoping you see it, half hoping you don't react. It's all a test. She wants to see if you'll crack, if you like the post. She knows you're still invested. If you watch her story, she knows you're still curious. If you text her, she knows she still has you. And as long as she believes she has the upper hand, she will not break silence. You have to understand the female psychology at play here. Women don't chase what they have. They chase what they fear losing. And right now, she doesn't fear losing you because she still thinks she has you. In her mind, you're waiting. You're checking her page. You're missing her. You're playing the "I'm fine" game. But she knows you're not. That's why she doesn't reach out. Because she believes she doesn't have to. Now here's where everything flips. The second you go silent for real. The second you stop watching, stop checking, stop caring, stop reacting, that's when doubt creeps in. She doesn't know anymore. She starts second-guessing. Her little tests don't work. Her posts don't hit like they used to. And that's when her mind starts spiraling. Why isn't he reacting? Has he moved on? Did he replace me? Was I wrong to leave? Now, she's the one obsessing. She's the one wondering. She's the one replaying old memories. She's the one watching your stories. And all of this? It happens in silence. She never tell you. She never admit it. Because admitting it means surrendering power, and she can't do that. So instead, she escalates the tests. A picture with another guy. A story at a familiar spot you used to go. A song lyric obviously about you, but it's not meant for closure. It's bait. She wants to see if you'll bite. Because if you react, she gets what she wants. Proof that she still controls the emotional temperature between you. But if you don't react, that's when she starts to panic. Because in her world, losing power over a man is worse than losing the man himself. And if she feels that shift, if she senses you've truly disconnected, she will spiral. She'll feel that grip slipping. She senses her strategy falling apart. And in that moment, she finally asks herself, what if I actually lost him? That thought? It haunts her. Because now she doesn't know where you stand. And this is the core truth every man needs to understand. If a woman truly values you, she will fight for you. She won't leave it to chance. She won't run mind games. She won't stay silent. She reach out. She apologize. She take action. But if she's just watching, just waiting, she's not choosing you. She's choosing control. And once you recognize that once, you stop playing her game. That's when you flip the power dynamic completely. Your silence becomes power. Your detachment becomes attractive. Your refusal to react becomes the ultimate shift. Because now, for the first time, she realizes she doesn't own your emotions anymore. And that's the moment the game ends and you win. 3. The Stoic strength of endurance. If you are distressed by anything external, the pain is not due to the thing itself, but to your estimate of it. And this you have the power to revoke at any moment. Marcus Aurelius. Endurance isn't loud. It doesn't beg for applause. It doesn't scream into the void or post its struggles online for sympathy points. Endurance, true endurance, is silent. It's in the man who shows up to work every day, even when he's barely holding it together. It's in the father who keeps going, even though no one thanks him. It's in the man who bites his tongue rather than destroy someone in anger, not because he can't, but because he chooses not to. And that's what Stoic endurance really is: strength without spectacle. We live in a world obsessed with visibility. Everything has to be shared, validated, approved. But endurance? It thrives in the absence of attention. A man who endures doesn't need to tell you he's enduring. You see it in his restraint. You feel it in his presence. You respect it. Even if you can't explain why, endurance is the enemy of chaos. One of the most radical things a man can do today is not give up. When everything is telling him to quit that job, leave that relationship, ghost that responsibility, drink, distract, disconnect. A Stoic man resists, not because he's blind to hardship, but because he understands. It's not the load that breaks you. It's the way you carry it. And the way a Stoic carries his burden, calmly, deliberately, without complaint. He knows that storms come. He just doesn't panic in the middle of them. Endurance is not weakness, it's warfare. Let's be clear. Endurance is not passive. Enduring doesn't mean rolling over and letting life destroy you. It means choosing your battles. It means staying silent, not out of fear, but out of control. It means absorbing the pain and transforming it into power without broadcasting it. In the military, there's a term: embracing the suck. It's when things are so brutally hard, the only option is to lean into it, to stop resisting and start owning it. That's what a Stoic does with suffering. He doesn't run. He integrates it. And that kind of endurance, it terrifies weak men, because it shows them what they're not willing to become. The quiet fire that never goes out. Endurance doesn't burn like a wildfire. It burns like a slow, steady flame that refuses to die. You'll find it in the man who keeps his promises, even when no one's watching. In the man who shows up early, leaves late, and never complains. In the man who suffers in silence, not out of pride, but out of principle. Because Stoic endurance isn't for show. It's for survival. It's the quiet belief that you may beat me down, but I will never break myself. That's a man who's dangerous. Not because he yells, but because he never needs to. Mental fortitude. Endurance as an act of will. Every man wants strength. Few understand where it comes from. It doesn't come from your bench press. It doesn't come from dominance. It comes from your will, from the decision every day to persist. When your body says stop. When your mind says quit. When your ego says explode. A Stoic listens, then decides to go on anyway. That's willpower. That's discipline. That's the kind of strength that can't be stolen, bought, or faked. A man who endures is a man who lasts. Most people burn bright, then burn out. But a man who learns to endure, he doesn't fade. He becomes inevitable. In relationships, he's reliable. In work, he's consistent. In crisis, he's unshakable, because life will always test you. But you don't always have to fight back. Sometimes the highest form of strength is this: I'm still here, still standing, still me. And that silent power, that's what makes you unstoppable. 4. Control is an illusion. Response is power. You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. Marcus Aurelius: every man wants control. Control of his future, control of his money, control of his relationships, his reputation, his world. But the brutal truth is this: you control far less than you think. You can't control the economy. You can't control other people's decisions. You can't control death, disease, or betrayal. You can't even control how others see you. But what you can control, the only thing, in fact, is your response. And that's where a Stoic man separates himself from the rest. Life will test you. Your reaction defines you. Imagine this. You walk into work. Your boss chews you out for something you didn't do. You could blow up. You could storm out. You could let it ruin your day, poison your mood, and infect everyone you talk to. Or you could breathe. You could pause. You could choose not to give away your peace. This is Stoic power. Not the absence of emotion, but the mastery of it. Because the first man, he's a slave to circumstance. The second, he's free. The barrier between stimulus and response. Viktor Frankl, the Holocaust survivor and philosopher, said, "Between stimulus and response, there is a space. In that space is our power to choose our response. In our response lies our growth and our freedom." That space, between what happens to you and how you react, is where your power lives. Most people don't even see that space. They react instantly, like animals. Fight, flight, attack, escape, explode, collapse. But a Stoic sees the space. And in that space, he inserts discipline, clarity, intention. You don't have to react to every provocation. A strong man knows this. Not everything deserves a response. She ghosted you? That's her reflection, not yours. They insulted you? That's their insecurity, not your truth. The world turned on you? That's life being life. Your dignity comes from restraint. Not because you're too weak to clap back, but because you're too focused to waste your energy. The man who responds to everything is a man constantly manipulated by others. But the man who chooses when to respond and how cannot be moved. Emotion without command is chaos. Feelings aren't the enemy. Uncontrolled feelings are. Anger is a valid emotion. But uncontrolled anger ruins families, careers, and lives. Fear is real. But when you let fear run your life, you become a coward in your own story. Desire can build empires or destroy them. It's not the emotion. It's the ownership of that emotion. A Stoic man doesn't deny his feelings. He interrogates them. He says, "I see you, anger. But I decide what happens next. I feel fear, but I walk forward anyway." That's the quiet difference between chaos and command. Reaction is easy. Response is power. Anybody can react. You press a button, they snap. They're walking tripwires. You never know what will set them off. But when a man can stand in the storm, when his heart is pounding, when he's insulted, pushed, disrespected, and still choose his next move, that's not weakness. That's dominance. Over himself, over the moment, over the chaos. That kind of man doesn't just survive life. He shapes it. The mirror test. Who do you become under pressure? Ask yourself, who are you when things don't go your way? When she leaves, when you lose, when everything falls apart, because that version of you, the one under pressure, that's your real character. Everyone is calm when life is easy. The Stoic is calm when life is hell. That calm isn't fake, it's trained, built through adversity, forged in discomfort, sharpened by the fires of failure. The Stoic doesn't fake it till he makes it. He practices it until it becomes him. Detachment, the ultimate form of self-commando. Control your response. You must first detach from the outcome. Let go of the illusion that you can force the world to comply with your will. Instead say, I will give my best. And whatever happens, I'll handle it. That's not giving up. That's gaining control. Because when your peace is not tied to results, you become untouchable. A man like that can't be broken. Because there's nothing outside him to break. Practice the response ritual when life hits hard. Do this. Pause. Literally stop yourself. Count to 5. Breathe. Observe. What's happening really? Is this a threat or just discomfort? Choose. What kind of man do I want to be right now? Respond, don't react. Let your actions match your values, not your emotions. Detach from the result. You can't control what happens next, only your input. Repeat this in traffic, in arguments, in loss, in success. Over time, it becomes instinct. And that instinct becomes identity. The bottom line, the world doesn't fear men who scream. It fears men who don't flinch. Men who can be provoked, tested, insulted, and still remain calm, strategic, and composed. Because men like that, they don't just endure life. They master it. 5. Less desire, more direction. Freedom is the only worthy goal in life. It is won by disregarding things that lie beyond our control. Epictetus. Most men are chasing something: success, women, money, status, fame. They tell themselves it's for freedom, but freedom never comes through chasing. It comes through clarity, through direction, through knowing what you stand for, and more importantly, what you can walk away from. This is the paradox of the Stoic man. He gets what others want because he doesn't need it. Modern men are addicted to the chase look. Around, you'll see men who are brilliant but burnt out, talented but lost, strong but easily manipulated. Why? Because they're led by desire, not values, not principles, not purpose. Desire is endless. You feed it, it grows. You satisfy it, it returns stronger. It becomes your god, and you become its servant. That's why Stoicism tells us, he who is not a slave to others is still a slave to himself, if ruled by desire. A man ruled by desire will always be chasing, but never arriving. He'll scroll endlessly, swipe endlessly, work endlessly, and die tired. The Stoic man doesn't chase. He chooses. When you stop needing everything, you gain the power to choose something, a path, a code, a direction that isn't dictated by impulse, lust, or envy. The Stoic man asks different questions. Does this align with my principles? Will this bring peace or more craving? Am I building something, or just escaping discomfort? Because the man who doesn't chase has already done something rare. He's faced the emptiness inside him. He's made peace with it. And now, he doesn't need the world to fill him. Desiring less opens doors others can't see. When you no longer need to impress, you become impressive. When you no longer need validation, people start to validate you. When you no longer need the job, the deal, the woman, you suddenly walk with a power that others can't replicate. Why? Because freedom is magnetic. Men who are at peace are rare. Men who move with intention are rare. Men who don't chase become the ones the world chases. But here's the truth. This isn't about being cold. It's about being centered. The silent men who burn with purpose. Every Stoic man has a flame inside. But it doesn't flare up for everything. He doesn't get excited over approval. He doesn't get angry at insults. He doesn't react to noise. Instead, he saves that energy for the things that matter. His mission, his family, his code. When you see him walk into a room, you feel his presence. Not because he's loud, but because he's undistracted. In a world addicted to more, A man who desires less is dangerous. From consumption to creation, here's the final truth. The world wants you to stay busy chasing. Because if you're always chasing, you're always consuming. The Stoic man flips that script. He moves from consumer to creator, from hungry to focused, from drifting to directed. That he builds something, a body that reflects discipline, a life that reflects clarity, a legacy that reflects control of self, not the world. That's not just attractive. That's unforgettable. 6. Nothing lasts forever, and that's a gift. You could leave life right now. Let that determine what you do and say and think. Marcus Aurelius. There's a strange kind of freedom that comes from remembering everything ends. Your job, your youth, your successes, your failures, even your pain. Nothing is permanent. Not even the things that feel like they will destroy you. This isn't meant to depress you. It's meant to liberate you, because once you see through the illusion of permanence, you realize this. If it doesn't last forever, it doesn't need to control you. Memento mori. The most humbling reminder. The Stoics had a phrase, memento mori. Remember that you will die. They didn't say this to be morbid. They said it to remind themselves that time is not promised. And when time is precious, you live differently. You stop wasting hours on people who drain you. You stop reacting to petty insults or chasing status you can't take with you. You stop putting off the things that matter, because every moment could be the last. The man who lives with this awareness doesn't panic, he prioritizes. Doesn't grasp, he lets go. Doesn't fear endings, he embraces them. Everything beautiful has an expiration date. Think of the most breathtaking sunset you've seen. Would it have the same impact? If it lasted forever, it's beautiful because it ends. Because it's fleeting. Because it reminds you to stop, breathe, and witness. The same is true of your youth, your relationships, even your time here. So the Stoic man doesn't run from endings, he uses them. He lets impermanence sharpen his focus. He lets the ticking clock fuel his discipline. He lets the fragility of life give his actions weight. Because when you realize something could be gone tomorrow, you treat it with reverence today. Endings create men of substance. Every powerful man you admire has this in common. He's faced something that ended, and he didn't break. He lost. He failed. He was rejected. He buried people he loved. He stood in front of a door that closed, and he built a new one. This is what Stoicism teaches us. You cannot control what ends, but you can always control what it creates in you. Pain can make you bitter, or it can make you better. Loss can make you numb, or it can make you aware that the choice is yours. The man who lets go flies higher. You want to go far? Let go. Let go of the version of you that's afraid of change. Let go of grudges that chain you to the past. Let go of the belief that life should be fair, easy, or predictable. The Stoic man learns to release, not because he doesn't care, but because he refuses to be owned by things he cannot keep. This doesn't make him cold. It makes him light, and a man who travels light moves faster. He thinks clearer. He leads better. He becomes someone others can rely on when the world is falling apart, because he doesn't cling to what's falling. Let the fire refine you. Here's the truth no one wants to hear. Yes, life will take things from you. Yes, people will hurt you. Yes, doors will close, but every ending is a forge. And if you let it, it will burn away the unnecessary. It will melt off the weak parts. It will leave behind something stronger, simpler, clearer. You, a man no longer terrified of endings, because he's been through them and came out refined. 7. The man who endures wins. If you can carry something difficult without breaking, then you have already won. Epictetus. In a world obsessed with winning, being the loudest, the richest, the most dominant, there's one kind of man who's always underestimated. He's not flashy. He doesn't chase applause. He doesn't need validation. He just endures, silently, deliberately, relentlessly. And because he endures, he outlasts them all. Not every battle needs to be fought. A stoic man knows something modern men often forget. Not everything deserves your energy. You don't need to prove yourself in every room. You don't need to fire back at every insult. You don't need to fight every battle, because most battles are traps. Traps to drain your focus, to bait your ego, to pull you off the path. The man who endures sees these traps and walks past them, not because he's weak, but because he's strong enough to choose his war. Real strength is silent. You can fake confidence with noise. You can fake wisdom with words, but you can't fake endurance. It's something you earn. In quiet mornings when no one's watching. In lonely nights when no one checks in. In failure, heartbreak, pressure, and pain, when your only option is to keep going. That's why real strength doesn't announce itself. It doesn't need to. You feel it in the way a man doesn't flinch under pressure. In the way he doesn't beg for approval. In the way he keeps showing up, even when nothing is going his way. The Stoic warrior plays the long game. The Stoic doesn't rush to win, because he's not here for a moment. He's here for a legacy. And legacies aren't built in bursts of rage or emotional chaos. They're built one disciplined, grounded, rational decision at a time. This kind of man says no when it's easier to say yes, waits when it would be easier to panic, moves forward when it would be easier to quit. While others burn out chasing quick rewards, he builds brick by brick, steady, patient, prepared. When storms come, he doesn't retreat, he endures. When luck runs out, he doesn't complain. He adapts. When everything is uncertain, he remains certain of himself. Pain is the lock. Endurance is the key. Everyone talks about wanting to be great, to be strong, to lead, to matter. But here's what separates the few who actually do. They suffer well. They don't ask, why is this happening to me? They ask, what is this forging in me? Pain is inevitable. Suffering is a part of life. But what you do with that pain, how you carry it, that's where greatness is born. The Stoic man doesn't avoid the fire. He walks through it and lets it temper him into steel. The man no one sees coming. They'll laugh at you for being quiet, for not chasing women, clout, or chaos, for keeping your circle small and your emotions in check. Let them. They don't realize the quiet man watching is becoming dangerous. Not through violence or rage, but through discipline, clarity, and control. And when the noise burns out, as it always does, you'll still be standing, unshaken, unmoved, ready because you didn't waste your strength proving things. You saved it to become someone unbreakable. This is the man the world fears. Not the one who shouts, but the one who endures. He doesn't need to chase. He doesn't need to win every argument. He doesn't need permission. He just needs time, because time always belongs to the man who lasts. The man who endures. He doesn't shout. He doesn't chase. He doesn't break. He observes. He waits. He endures. And in the end, he's the last one standing. If you've ever felt like the world underestimates you, good, let them, because real power doesn't beg to be seen. It's forged in silence, built through pain, and proven over time. Which of these 7 rules hit you the hardest? Which one are you still working on? Drop your thoughts below. Let's talk, and remember, Your silence is strength. Your endurance is your edge. Asterisk.